Here we have the strength test set up for the swivel. On the left side you can see a crane scale measuring the amount of force that we're putting through the swivel in pounds. And on the right side we can see the swivel, which is pinned in double shear between two shackles. The swivel is rated at 500 pounds, which we've already gone over, with no signs of deformation or failure. We're going to keep increasing the load throughout this test up to over 1,000 pounds. As you can see, around the 700 to 800 pound mark, the pins that are holding the swivel start to deflect some, and that will ultimately lead to the conclusion of the test before the failure of the swivel itself. At the 900 pound mark, the swivel is still doing great and our pins are continuing to deflect. Right at about 1,000 pounds, we'll see the pins let go, and that will conclude the test. Now we're going to take a look to see if the swivel had any damage from the testing. There's a small amount of deformation on the holes on the top from where the pin was in contact with the swivel, and we'll take a look at the bottom to see if there's any issues there. There's a similar amount of deformation on the bottom hole. None of that is to be of any concern, especially because this test was done at twice the rated load for the swivel. Now we're going to test the function of the swivel. We'll go ahead and try and rotate it with no tension on it, and it doesn't rotate, just as it should. And now we can apply some tension and it should rotate freely, which is exactly what we got. This is a great success for the swivel, and we can see that it can withstand a load of over 1,000 pounds. Now we'll move on to the rotation testing for the swivel. In this setup we have an electric drill attached to the top of the swivel. That drill rotates at 1300 RPM, and the bottom of the swivel is fixed. We also have the swivel submerged in a saline solution that represents the salt content of ocean water. On the right here we can see a clock that's measuring the duration of the test in real time. Of course, this video has been sped up slightly for the ease of viewing. During the duration of this test, the swivel undergoes almost 400,000 revolutions, which is the equivalent of over 5 miles of rotation when measured from the inside diameter of the swivel body. This is an incredible distance and would represent many, many days of fishing on this swivel rig. Here we'll go ahead and conclude the testing of the swivel, and that way we can take it apart and examine how everything fared. We've got the swivel removed from the water and the drill now, and we're going to test to see if it still functions as it should. First we're going to go ahead and see if it rotates with no tension, and it doesn't. And then we'll go ahead and apply tension, and we can see that it rotates freely. We'll note that there is a slight amount of play due to some wear that has occurred on the spring. We want to examine that wear a little bit more, so we will go ahead and disassemble the swivel. We have all the parts laid out and we're going to start inspecting. We can tell that there is a small amount of wear on some of the interior surfaces, but most of the main wear was concentrated on this spring that you'll see here. This spring is fully replaceable in the swivel, so if you ever do have it wear out, you can disassemble it, replace the spring, and it'll be good as new. We go ahead and examine the rest of the parts to see if they have any wear or deformation, and they're all looking great. With that, we conclude all the testing of this swivel. With over 1,000 pounds of force and 5 miles of rotation, the swivel performed excellent, and we know that it's going to perform excellent for you. Thanks for watching.